Turning now to local weather, and Ryan Hanrahan has been quite busy in the Weather Center tracking this impressive snowstorm.
You know, if this was January or February, it would be a decent-sized snowstorm, but, you know, January, February, we get these. For this to happen in October, it's never happened before. In the last 100, 150 years, we can't find anything like it. And the concern is that all the trees in the valleys and on the shoreline still have a lot of leaves on them, at least most of them. That's going to cause some problems.
Sorry, because normally I'd be asking you about the fall foliage forecast, and all those leaves are still on the trees and the branches. Big concern.
It's going to cause some problems. If the snow is really wet and heavy, we are in for big-time power outages. So let's hope the snow is powdery and a little more fluffy, but it's October. That's going to be hard to do. Let's show you what's going on. We have a winter storm warning now in effect for inland Connecticut, a winter weather advisory along the shoreline. Basically, that just means more snow inland, less snow at the shoreline, but the risk for power outages from the snow and a bit of wind will stretch from the Massachusetts border all the way down to Long Island Sound. So we will be watching this very closely. And I mentioned the wind as well. We have a wind advisory in effect for northern Middlesex and northern New Haven counties, and a high wind warning in effect for New London County, southern Middlesex, and southern New Haven counties. That's for winds this evening that could gust over 50 miles per hour. So not only are we talking about snow clinging to the leaves and the trees and the power lines, we're talking about some pretty gusty winds too during the height of the storm. 38 in Hartford right now. It's 41 in New Haven, and this is just incredible. The water temperature is 62, and we're talking about a snowstorm. It's incredible stuff. Never seen it before. Been tracking these kind of snowstorms for 2 decades, and I've never seen anything quite like this. 33 degrees in Norfolk. That tells me the Northwest Hills will probably start as snow. The rest of us will start as rain and eventually transition to snow. Here's the storm moving up the coast. Snow now as close as the northwest suburbs of Philadelphia. Rain in Philly, but I just noticed Doylestown is over to snow, as is Reading. So this is moving in, and Allentown too just flipped over to snow. This will be heading in our direction over the next couple hours. So storm specifics. Here's what to expect over the next couple hours. Through 2 o'clock this afternoon, we will see rain and snow developing across the state. Rain at the shoreline, a rain-snow mix inland. That rain-snow mix will transition quickly to all snow in the hills, and then by 4, 5, maybe as late as 6 o'clock, transitions to snow in greater Hartford, right in the valley, right along I-91, and the suburbs on 84. And then by this evening, 7 or 8 o'clock, it transitions to snow in greater New Haven. Tree and power line damage is possible and, in fact, likely as the storm rolls up the coast. So by 1 o'clock, snow in the Northwest Hills especially, rain along the shoreline, a transition zone in between. So between now, when the precipitation starts at 5 o'clock, I expect little accumulation in the greater Hartford area. By this evening, though, when temperatures drop, the accumulation is going to begin to increase, and then we all turn over to snow, and a wind-whipped snow at that. We could see near blizzard conditions later on tonight in a portion of the state. How much to expect? 10 to 15 inches in the Northwest Hills, 10 to 15 inches in the Northeast Hills above 800 feet. Most of us, though, about 6 inches up to 10 in some of the hill towns in the hillier suburbs, northwest of Hartford, also north of Waterbury, thinking up toward Watertown, over toward Woodbury and Bethlehem. Could see 10 inches of snow. Looks like 3 to 6 inches or so in greater New Haven, a little bit less in far southeastern Connecticut. Looks nice tomorrow once the storm departs. Will be a nice day to dig out. Temperatures in the low 40s. Low 40s for Halloween should be great for the trick-or-treaters. And then quiet weather for next week. We will need a breather after this storm moves through. More weather coming up in a couple minutes. Shirley, back to you.
From Connecticut's news leader, NBC Connecticut News starts now.
Winter weather is coming to Connecticut, and now the rush is on to stock up for the storm. Even power companies are ready. Are you?
Our people are ready. Our equipment is ready. Now we're asking our customers to be ready because, this has the potential to create problems.
NBC Connecticut has team coverage of this rare October snow bearing down on us. Good morning, everyone. I'm Shirley Chan. It's just a matter of time before the snow arrives. We have live team coverage to get you prepared. Meteorologist Ryan Hanrahan is tracking the storm, and Malini Basu is live at the DOT in East Hartford. We begin with Ryan Hanrahan. Ryan, you've got all the data for us. When will this snowstorm hit?
It's on its way in, that's for sure. It's going to start as a mixture of rain and snow in many areas. In the hills, it will transition really quickly to all snow. By this afternoon, we will see accumulating snow, especially above 600 or 700 feet. Winter storm warning in effect for most of the interior. Winter weather advisory along the shoreline. That means the least amount of snow will be right along the coast. The most snow will be inland, especially in the hill towns. 38 the current temperature in Meriden, 34 in Torrington, 36 in Tolland, 39 in Willimantic, and 41 in Groton. So temperatures above freezing. So initially we won't see any accumulation, and it will take a little bit of time for the rain to transition over to snow. But when it does, temperatures will drop to near freezing, and we will see some accumulation. If this was all snow, we'd get about 1 to 2 feet of snow, but I'm expecting about half of it will accumulate, about 50%, and that means many of us will see a decent and significant accumulation. Heavy snow now falling across a good chunk of Pennsylvania. The rain has changed over to snow there. It's raining in New York City. The closest rain to us is about the Bronx, moving up toward Yonkers, and should be in White Plains before too long. And here's exact track. You can see the snow and rain overspreading the state. Looks like a mixture of rain and snow for many areas. Rain in southeastern Connecticut, snow in northwestern Connecticut, and all of us will see that mixture continuing through about this evening until the rain-snow line moves back toward the Connecticut shoreline. So how much snow to expect? Well, we're looking at a lot of it. 1 to 3 inches in southeastern Connecticut, 3 to 6 inches for Metro New Haven. Looks like about 6 inches for downtown Hartford and the immediate suburbs. Once you get out of the city and up in elevation, we could see as much as 10, especially in some of the suburbs to the north of Waterbury up Route 8. And then once you get up into the far northwest and northeast hills above 600 or 700 feet, we're looking at 10 to 15 inches of snow. We'll have more coming up in just a few minutes. Shirley, back to you.
Wow. All right. Well, you saw Ryan's forecast, and DOT and power crews, they're on standby this morning. NBC Connecticut's Melanie Basu continues our team coverage. She's live at the DOT in East Hartford. Melanie.
Shirley, so far so good. Pretty quiet here, but in just a few hours, all that hustle and bustle will start. Crews will start actually loading up the salt and the sand. Meanwhile, many folks here are taking no chances. They're preparing. But the one thing that many are concerned about are power outages. Forget about the Halloween weekend. Mother Nature is expected to dump a lot of snow on us. Joe Lakis is forced to work out in those conditions.
Probably do some snow removal later on, what we're hearing. Got some wet stuff coming, heavy stuff, rain, mixed bag of snow.
More than 600 trucks across the state will be out and about and working overtime. The state moved into high gear. They're already pre-treating problem areas. But what folks really need to be ready for are widespread power outages. Most trees are still full of leaves. The heavy snow could bring down limbs and wires. The state's utility companies came under fire during Irene for slow response times. This time around, a CLNP official tells NBC Connecticut this.
We have to be ready no matter what Mother Nature delivers to us, so we'll be ready to go. We're ready to go right now.
And many are just going to stay home and ride it out.
Yeah, it is here a little bit soon, but we have to deal with it, right?
And that's right. There's nothing you can do. Meanwhile, Governor Daniel Malloy's office is sending out a message. Be aware that there might just be power outages, so be prepared. Make sure you have your flashlights and your batteries ready. We, of course, will stay on top of this. For now, we are live in East Hartford. Melanie Basu, NBC Connecticut News.
All right, Melanie, thank you. Now, if you do lose power this weekend, here are some numbers to call to report those outages. For folks who use CLNP, call 1-800-286-2000. If you get your power through United Illuminating, you can call 1-800-722-5584. We will show you these numbers again later in the newscast, but if your power does go out, please call immediately. Love the snow or not, it seems this first blast of winter is catching some people off guard. City True Value Hardware in Bristol was slammed yesterday with people looking to stock up on snow supplies. We're talking rock salt, shovels, and even snow blowers. They're the hot items right now. And remember last year's hard to find roof rake? We spoke to one man who decided he wasn't going to wait until they ran out.
I was going to go tomorrow, but I said by tomorrow there won't be any, so I come out tonight.
Today in our repair shop, it's been like Santa's workshop. We can't put the snow blowers together fast enough.
Auto shops are also swamped with people looking for snow tires and batteries. And NBC Connecticut, we've got you covered. We'll keep you up to date on the snow. Meteorologist Ryan Hanrahan will have another look at the forecast in just a few minutes. You can also get up-to-date information on NBCConnecticut.com. New this morning, a warning before you park in Winchester. Starting at noon, the town is implementing a parking ban due to the storm. Cars parked on the street will be ticketed and possibly towed at the owner's expense. The ban is in effect until noon tomorrow. Snowy weather is coming to Connecticut. Preparations underway for an earlier than normal snowfall. Ryan.
This is beyond earlier than normal. This is unprecedented, historic. We've never seen anything like this before in Connecticut in over 100 years. We'll talk about it and take a look at the impacts from this major and very serious winter storm heading toward Connecticut. Stay with us.
You're watching NBC Connecticut.
What a winter storm we have heading our way. We've never seen anything like this in Connecticut history. The record in the greater Hartford region, 1.7 inches of snow. That was set back in 1979. We are going to more than quadruple that over the next 24 hours. Winter storm warning in effect for most of northern Connecticut. Winter weather advisory on the immediate shoreline. The immediate shoreline gets a little bit less snow because it will take a little bit longer to change over from rain to snow, but still, this is a significant storm, and it's going to get very windy too. During the height of the storm, we have a high wind warning out for southern New Haven, southern Middlesex, and all of New London County. A wind advisory just inland from that. So let's say tonight between about 8 p.m. and 2 a.m., we could see winds gusting over 50 miles per hour in some areas, which could take down some trees and power lines. That's just the wind. We have another problem we have to talk about too. So it looks like we see a mixture of rain and snow developing across the state over the next couple hours. Through about 1 o'clock, we'll see that mixture spreading inland. It will change from a mixture of rain and snow to all snow first in the hill towns, and then by 4 or 5 o'clock in the valleys, we begin to see a change over to all snow. It gets a little bit slippery as we head towards sunset, and down toward the shoreline by 7 or 8 o'clock, we will see that changeover occurring. And we are talking about the potential for tree and power line damage. Remember, it's October. The trees still have lots of leaves on them, and that's going to be a big problem. Temperatures in the 30s to around 40, so above freezing right now. So we'll start things off as rain in many areas, or a rain-snow mix, but then temperatures will begin to fall, and we will see things changing over to snow. And we have seen that change over to snow happen in portions of Pennsylvania. Joining us now live from Harrisburg is Weather Channel meteorologist Jim Cantori. And Jim, it looks like this storm is going to be one for the record books in many areas up and down the coast.
Yeah, you mentioned the records there. Here in Harrisburg, 2.1 back in 1925. That stands as the October record. Like you said, quadruple. We may do that here as well. You can see these silver dollar and almost, Ryan, waffle-size flakes coming on down. And here's case in point. I mean, you can see the leaves here fully on the trees, a lot of them still green, just changing on over to yellow on these oaks. And I think once we get to about 4 to 6 inches, which we will do here, I think, even into the valley, we are going to start to see these power outages here. Wind's not an issue now, but as that storm really cranks up, we're going to see those winds gusting as well. So roads are looking good. We don't have an intense enough snowfall rate, at least here in this elevation, to cause the problems. But already, you get up around 1,000 feet, you get back west, even in this county, back toward Altoona and Johnstown, Pennsylvania, west central Pennsylvania, they've already had reports of up to 8 inches of this snow. So it's going to come down fast and furious. And unfortunately, a lot of people heading to the Happy Valley today may not be so happy.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game for my alma mater today with that snow coming down. Now, Jim, we've seen and you've covered early season snowstorms in the Northeast before. We had the big October lake effect storm in Buffalo in 2006. Eastern New York around Albany had one in October 1987. How much of a threat is tree and power line damage from this storm? Because here in Connecticut and a lot of southern New England, we've never seen anything like this in October.
No, I mean, you know, what Irene didn't take care of, I think this October snowstorm is going to take care of for you guys. But when you look at the kind of leaves, I mean, look at this, the kind of leaves that we have sitting here on these trees. It will not take much with these intense snowfall rates, especially this afternoon, we expect to get into, to really cause this to start piling up. And like I said, I think once we get into 4 to 6 inches, a lot of these will be coming down. So this is just one area, but we've got the whole area pretty much from south central PA up through the Poconos, up through the Catskills and the Hudson Valley, through Connecticut, through central Massachusetts, into southern New Hampshire that still have trees like this. So that's why we're expecting such a widespread area of power outages and tree damage.
Yeah, it's going to be
just unavoidable.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thank you very much, Weather Channel meteorologist Jim Cantori. We appreciate your time. Stay safe out there. Stay warm, too. All right, let's show you what's going on closer to home. You can see the snow in Harrisburg, and it looks like as we move toward 1 o'clock, we will see that snow overspreading interior Connecticut. Begin to see a change over to all snow in the hills, especially. By 4 or 5 o'clock, we're still waffling around that rain-snow line in greater Hartford. So not much accumulation, I don't think, until we get toward dark. And then temperatures crash and the snow comes down toward the coast. And we all see snow tonight and near blizzard conditions as the winds really pick up as the storm heads out toward eastern New England and the shoreline, basically east of Cape Cod. Out toward Cape Cod, they can see wind gusts over 75 miles per hour from this storm. But closer to home, here's the breakdown. 6 to 10 inches of snow for most of interior Connecticut, basically right along the I-84 corridor. The least amount in some of the city centers in the valley, like downtown Hartford, about 6. But the elevated suburbs in the hills, up toward 10 inches. 10 to 15 inches in the Litchfield Hills, 10 to 15 inches in the far northeastern hills. It looks like about 3 to 6 inches in New Haven. Less than that east of New Haven along the shoreline where we should pick up 1 to 3 inches. So the snow is out of here by 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. For your day on Sunday, we will see temperatures in the low 40s. Some of the snow will melt. Halloween is looking good, though, for the trick-or-treaters. Temperatures cold, probably in the 30s with some snow on the ground. But at this point, it looks like the storm will be, again, gone by daybreak tomorrow. More weather coming up in just a few minutes. Shirley, back to you.